Hello, this is Jingyantang, and my topic is Urban Search and Rescue Interactive Visual Analytics. The whole presentation will be divided into 6 parts: background, objectives, design method, implementation detail, related work, and future work. Now let's look at the background. As we all know, natural disasters such as flood, fire, earthquake affect thousands of people every year. The Urban Search and Rescue Organization aims to locate victims and manage recovery operations in these disasters. The purpose of the diorama system is to help the responders carry out a fast and effective triage operation to save as many people as possible. In the diorama system, the responder will first triage all the patients, and this information can be shown in the Google Map and can be uploaded to the server. And then, after the triage task finishes, all the responder will start to evacuate the red patients first, and then evacuate the yellow patient, and then the green patient. All this information will be uploaded to the server. So we can get incident information, patient assessment information, emergency responder information, and so on from the server. This substantial amount of data should be visualized to help the user analyze the whole task. So the objectives can be divided into 6 parts. The main menu, which is able to help the user understand the structure of the application. The patient information, which is very important since the purpose of the diorama system is to save as many patients as possible. And the responder information is necessary because the responders are the executors in the system. And then the device information can remind the user to update the devices. And the weather and visibility condition is able to help the user figure out a way to improve the efficiency in bad condition. Besides, the structure should be layered and well organized in this application, and the interactive functions is necessary. For the architecture, there are total 3 layers in this application. Now let's look at layer 1. Layer 1 is based on the information we can get from the server. We can get the patient information, responder information, and other information. This information, all the 3 parts of information combined into layer 1. Now let's look at the layer 2. Layer 2 is classified by the way we can check the data. For example, for patient, we can look at the overview information, which summarizes all the patient's information, and we can also look at the patients by color, which will filter the information by color. And also we can look at the patient's information by responder. Since we also have a responder part, so I combine this part into the responder part. Let's look at the responder part. In the responder part, we can check the information by overview, which summarizes all the responder information. And then also we can check the information from one by one, since the number of responders is not too much. For the other information, it includes device and detail information. And this information combined into layer 2. Now let's look at layer 3. For patient information, it includes overview and filter by color. The overview layout includes pie chart, bar chart, and stacked line chart. And the filter by color includes bar chart, stacked line chart, and list by color. So the layer 3 are classified by the chart type. For the responder, we can look at it by overview or by single responder. And for the overview part, we can look at it by bar chart, staggered line chart, and list of these responders. And for the single responder part, we can look at it by pie chart, bar chart, staggered line chart, and detailed information. For the device in the other part, it includes incident commander, responder, server, localization. And for the detailed information in the others part, it includes incident information, weather condition, and visibility condition. Also, it is necessary to mention that all the patient's information and responder information can be filtered by task. The task includes triage and evacuation. Now let's look at the implementation detail. First of all, the main menu helps the user understand the whole structure of the system. For example, if you look at the main menu in the left part, it includes task, patients, responder, and others. The patient and the responder and the others combine the layer 1, and the overview filtered by one color combined layer 2, and the overview specific responder in responder combined into layer 2. Likewise for the others part. Also, the main menu worked as a notification. It will show up if the user swipes the screen from the left edge to the right, and also it can be hidden if the user swipes the screen from right to the left. This would save a lot of space for the application, and it is very convenient for the user to check the main menu. Now let's look at the task part. In the task part, it includes triage and evacuation. It aims to filter the unrelated information for the user. If the user clicks triage, then the patient's information and responder information will only show the triage part. Likewise for the evacuation part. For the patient's part, it includes overview and filter by color. For the overview part, it includes pie chart, bar chart, and staggered line chart. These charts can be switched by swiping the screen. For example, if the user swipes the screen from right to the left, the pie chart will become the bar chart. If you notice the status bar at the bottom of the layout, the dark part shows the current chart type. Now let's look at the pie chart. The pie chart shows the distribution of the patients. For example, as you can see in the figure, the number inside the red part means there are total 5 patients that has been triaged with red priority. Also likewise for yellow, green, and black. Also, it is worth mentioning that the left part of the layout shows the triaged patients, and the right part shows the evacuated patients. Now let's look at the bar chart. The bar chart shows the time for triage each patient and evacuate each patient. Similarly to the pie chart, the red bar means the patients with the red patients, and the x-axis of the bar chart is the ID of the patients, and the y-axis is the triage time or evacuated time in seconds. If you notice the plus button in the middle of the screen. It will direct the user into the total time for all patients. As you can see in the figure, all the patients shows with the total time. The x-axis is the patient ID and the y-axis is the total time for rescue the patients. If you notice the return button in the right bottom, it would help the user return to the previous layout without going into the main menu again. Now let's look at the stacked line chart. Stacked line chart shows the triage and evacuation sequence for all patients. The x-axis shows the time starts from the first patients that has been triaged, and the y-axis shows the number of patients. From the stacked line chart, first of all, you can know that in the middle of the dotted line in the middle of the layout, it means the patients starts to be triaged, evacuated. And also, as we all know, in the diorama system, the red patients has to be evacuated before the yellow patients, and the yellow patients has to be evacuated before the green patients. So if you notice that in the layout, the yellow patients starts to decrease after all the red patients has been evacuated. So this part of task is in the right order. However, if you notice the red part of the layout, the green patients starts to decrease before all the yellow patients has been evacuated. So this is the disorder in the system. It can be shown remarkably in the system. Also, if the user clicks the stacked line chart, he will be able to see a remaining dialog to remind if the user wants to check the list of the detailed information. For example, if the user wants to check the patients with the red priority, he can click red, and then the detailed information for the patients with the red priority will show up. As you can see in the figure, the detailed information includes patient ID, priority responder, and the triage time or the evacuated time. Now let's look at the only one color part. In the only one color part, we don't need the pie chart anymore, so I substitute it into the detailed information for this color. So the only one color part includes bar chart, stacked line chart, and detailed information. All this layout can be switched by swiping the layout from the right to the left. Now let's look at the responder part. The responder part includes overview and check the responder information one by one. The overview part includes bar chart, stacked line chart, and detailed information for the responders, for all the responders. If you look at the bar chart for the responder, the left part shows the triage time for all patients. The right part shows the evacuation time for all patients. The x-axis is the responder ID, and the y-axis is the triage time in seconds. If the user is interested in each bar, in any responder, he can click the bar, and then the information about the responder will show up with the responder ID, the time, to make sure the user chooses the right responder, and then if he chooses yes, then he will be directed into the detailed information for the responder. The detailed information for the responder includes the triaged patients, evacuated patients, and the triage times, evacuated time, and total task time spent by the responder. Now let's look at the stacked line chart for the responder. The stacked line chart shows the triage and evacuated time of the responders. If you look at the left part, you will notice that it means the first responder starts to triage responder, and this part means the second responder starts to triage the patients. And at this part, the color changes. It means the first responder becomes to evacuate the patients, and at this point of time, the first responder finished his work. Also, if the user clicks the stacked line chart, he will be able to check the detailed information for the responders. The detailed information of the responder includes responder ID, task time, triaged patients, and evacuated patients. For a specific responder, it includes the pie chart, which shows the distribution of the patients by this responder. The bar chart shows the time spent on triage or evacuate for patients by this responder, and the stacked line chart, which shows the sequence of triage and evacuate the patients by the responder, and the detailed information for the responder. Since I already mentioned the pie chart, bar chart, and the stacked line chart in the patient's part, I will not repeat it again. Let's look at the detailed information for the responder. The detailed information for a specific responder includes triage patients, evacuated patients, and the triage time, evacuate time, and total task time for the responder. Now let's look at the other information part. Other information part includes device information and detailed information. The device information includes the software and hardware for incident commander, responder, and server, and also the localization tool. The device information includes the incident information and the weather condition and visibility condition. Let's look at the related work and future work. Related work, what I did is to integrate the application with the current diorama look and feel system that package the application as an activity, and then other user will be able to check the layout that he wants just by intend his activity to this activity with some parameters. My future work is to show the animation of the responder and the patients in 3D Google Map, which will also important for analyze the whole task. Thank you.